Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Lovely's Digital Virtual. I keep saying digital. Welcome to Lovely's Virtual Book Club. Hello, live stream viewers. Hello, replay viewers. I'm going to share this live stream out very quickly, and then we can get into discussing our book. Let me grab that too while I'm at it. Get all my ducks in a row here. 1 second, y'all, while I make sure that I am where I'm supposed to be and I'm sharing what I'm supposed to share. Give me just a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me make sure this is turned down. Let's see. Hey, there I am. There I am. Okay. So y'all can see me. Y'all can see me. Perfect. Let me share this real quick. Okay, I think that is sharing. Let me pop back over there real quick and see if it is. There I am. Perfect. Okay, everybody, Happy New Year. Thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of time with me today. We are going to be discussing the book Cassandra in Reverse by Holly Smale. Before we do that, let me make sure everything is working just fine. I don't have my ticker tapes, y'all. Hold on a second, friends. Banners. There we go. Let me get my little banners going. Okay. Share the live stream out far and wide so we can start talking about this awesome book. Okay. Boom. So this is the book that we are going to be talking about, Cassandra in Reverse by Holly Smale. It's a wonderful book about time travel, and it has Greek mythology influences. I had a wonderful time with this book, and I hope that you guys did too. Before we jump into that, let me get all my announcements, accoutrements. All right. I always debate on how I'm going to do that. I think I like this, because then my little head, which ain't so little, is at the bottom of the screen, and we can still discuss and talk amongst ourselves. So I hope everybody can hear me. Let me double check. Let me get in the comments. There we go. In case y'all can't hear me or anything like that, just leave a comment. But I believe everybody can hear me just fine. Now, before we discuss this amazing book, we are going to have a few announcements. One new program we have this year are digital navigators. There are about 3 of them at different branches. Here at LAM, we have a digital navigator. And this program is for 18 and older. They have office hours. Our digital navigator is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4. In a partnership with PCCLD and CSU Pueblo and the Adelante Connect project, digital navigators offer open office hours to offer one-on-one and small group assistance and instruction with technology support and educational modules to engage in the community and promote broadband access. So if you know somebody who needs help with maybe making a resume or navigating things online, or maybe even, filling out paperwork online, learning how to edit a PDF, little things like that. Maybe even some website help as well. the Digital Navigator program is something that you really want to look into. Again, like I said, we have our program on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4. They're at other branches as well. So please check out those locations on our website, which is pueblolibrary.org. Okay. Now let's go to the next announcement. Also, if you really, really enjoy Scrabble and you want to come and hang out and play with us, this is so small. I'm sorry, y'all can't see it, but we'll be playing Scrabble here at Lamb Library this Wednesday on January the 22nd from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Again, that is Scrabble from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Okay, now, hold on. I'm back. Okay, and then something that I think is really important is on Tuesday, January the 21st, we'll be having an open house with Senator Hickenlooper's team. It's going to be at Lamb Library from 10 a.m. Until noon. It's for ages 18 and older. Constituent advocates from Senator Hickenlooper's office will be on hand to assist with passport applications, Department of Veterans Affairs benefits, federal taxes, immigration, and more. So if there is anything that you might need help with as far as navigating things that our senator might be able to assist with you, that's the program for you. You want to come and drop by on the 22nd of January. Let me make sure. I think it might have been the 21st. It was. It's Tuesday, the 21st of January from 10 to 1. Let me not say that, y'all. 10 to noon. 10 to noon. Right here at Lamb Library. If you know a veteran who maybe needs help navigating the VA or anything like that, this is a good place to be there. If you are trying to figure out your taxes or insurance issues or passport things, anything like that, please stop by. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to connect with your senator, your senator's constituent advocate. Senator Hickenlooper is not going to be here, but the constituent advocate will be, and so that is somebody you want to get to know. And if you have time afterward, you can talk to the digital navigator to help connect you with your broadband access and any of your technological needs. All right, let's go in here. Who do we have next? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Holly Smale. I keep wanting to call her a different kind of name. I'm sorry if I call her Holly Small. That's me, y'all, and me forgetting. All right, Holly Smale is the internationally best-selling, award-winning author of the Greek Girl and Valentine's teen series, which have sold 3.4 million copies worldwide. In January 2021, Holly was diagnosed autistic at the age of 39. Suddenly, a lot of things made sense. Holly regularly shares, debates about, and celebrates neurodiversity on Twitter and Instagram at Whole Smale. Her at is at Whole Smale, HOLSMALE. Let me write that down because that doesn't sound right. I'm going to put it in the comment section. So if you want to go chat with her, HOLSMALE. That is where you can do it at. I did check her Twitter. She hasn't posted over there since 2022. And to be quite honest, I can't blame her. I wouldn't be over there either. But she is still on Instagram, so you might want to go over there and check her out if that is something that might interest you. Okay, let's get into this awesome book. Let's see. Okay, so the book has received notable awards. It's a Reese Book Club pick, a BBC Radio 2 Book Club pick. It's been featured in Country Living, NPR Here and Now, Gizmodo, Katie Kirk Media, The Nerd Daily, Booklist Queen, Zibby Magazine, She Knows, Tour.com, and Scary Mommy Book Club. All right. So this book has several different tropes and themes. It covers neurodivergence, self-acceptance, social anxiety, family relationships, time travel as a metaphor, and grief. Okay, now before we hop into the discussion questions, I'm going to read a brief synopsis of what this book is about. And let me see. Let's see how far we might read. I might have to skip some stuff. Yeah, I think we might read a little bit too. Okay. If you had the power to change the past, would you? Cassandra Penelope Dankworth is a creature of habit. She likes what she likes: museums, jumpsuits, her boyfriend Will, and strongly dislikes what she doesn't: mess, change, her boss drinking out of her mug. Her life runs in a pleasing, predictable order until now. She's been dumped. She's been fired. Her local cafe has run out of banana muffins. Then something truly unexpected happens. Cassie discovers she can go back and change the past. Now, Cassie should be able to find a way to fix the life she accidentally obliterated. And with time on her side, how hard can it be? This utterly charming novel tells a story of heartbreak, second chances, and one woman's journey through time to discover that thinking and feeling differently from those around her doesn't mean she's broken. All right. So, let me see. Oop, well, we're not reading that. Let's see. You know, we do have a little bit of time. I'm going to read a little bit from this book. First off, before I jump in and start just reading an excerpt, let's talk about who Cassandra is in Greek mythology. Cassandra was cursed with the gift of prophecy. So she had the gift of prophecy, being able to see what was going to happen in the future, but she was cursed and no one would believe her. Drove her crazy, poor thing. And that's where Cassandra in the book gets her name from. Her mother was a professor of Greek mythology. And throughout the book, we visit Greek tales and myths. She uses them to explain her life and connect with the people around her. That's one of the reasons why I found this so fascinating. So I'm going to read an excerpt real quick. Where does a story start? It's a lie, the first page of a book, because it masquerades as a beginning. A real beginning, the opening of something, when what you're being offered is an arbitrary line in the sand. This story starts here. Pick a random event. Ignore whatever came before it or catch up later. Pretend the world stops when the book closes, or that a resolution isn't simply another random moment on a curated timeline. But life isn't like that, so books are dishonest. Maybe that's why humans like them. And it's saying that kind of, I won't say that word. I'm going to bleep it out or excerpt myself because this is a family town, a family program, no cussing. And it's saying that kind of stuff gets me thrown out of the Fenton Road Book Club. Here are some other things I've been asked not to return to. The Blenheim Road Readers Group, a large flat share I briefly attempted in Walthamstow, my last relationship, my current job. The final two have been in quick succession. This morning, Will, my boyfriend of 4 months, kissed me, listed my virtues out of nowhere, and concluded the pep talk by ending our relationship. The job situation I found out about 80 seconds ago. According to the flexing jaw and flared nostrils of my boss, I've yet to respond to this new information. He seems faint and muted, as if he's behind a pane of thick frosted glass. He also has a dried oat on his shirt collar, but now doesn't seem the right time to point it out. He's married. His wife can do it later. Cassie, he says more loudly, did you hear me? Obviously, I heard him, or I'd still be giving a detailed report on the client meeting I just had, which is exactly what I was doing when he fired me. The issue isn't so much your work performance, he plows on gallantly. Although Christ knows somebody who hates phone calls as much as you do shouldn't be working in public relations. I nod. That's an accurate assessment. It's your general demeanor I can't have in this office. You are rude, insubordinate, arrogant. Frankly, you're not a team player, and you do not know what this office needs. Oh, wait, and do you know what this office needs? A better coffee machine? That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I tell you my boss's name and give him a brief description, but judging by this conversation, he isn't going to be a prominent character for much longer. I've spoken to you about this on multiple occasions, Cassandra. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Our highest paying client just dropped us because of your quote unquote relentlessly grating behavior. You are unlikable. That's the exact word they used. Unlikable. Public relations is a people job for people. Now just hang on a minute. I'm a person. I object, lifting my chin and doing my best to stare directly into his pupils. As far as I'm aware, being likable is irrelevant to my job description. It's certainly not in my contract because I've checked. My boss's nostrils flare into horsiness. I rarely understand what another human being is thinking, but I frequently feel it. A wave of emotion that pours out of them into me, like a teapot into a cup. While it fills me up, I have to work out what it is, where it came from, and what I'm supposed to do to stop it spilling everywhere. Rage that doesn't feel like mine pulses through me, dark, purple, and red. His colors are an invasion, and I do not like it. Look, my boss concludes with the patient side that is nothing like the emotion bolting out of him. This just isn't working out, Cassie, and on some level, you must already know that. Maybe you should find something that's better suited to your specific skill set. That's essentially what Will told me this morning, too. I don't know why they're both under the impression I must have seen the incoming when I very much did not. Your job has the word relations in it, my boss clarifies helpfully. Perhaps you could find one that doesn't. Standing up, I clear my throat and look at my watch. It's not even Wednesday, lunchtime yet. Relationship over. Job over. Well, I calmly say, she dropped an F-bomb. We won't be saying that. Okay, so we'll stop there. That's just a couple of pages into the first chapter of this book. So, as we meet Cassandra, her life is imploding. She's lost her job. Her boyfriend broke up with her this morning. And later, as we continue on in the chapter, she gets caught up in this protest and gets hurt and knocked down. She's having roommate troubles as well. Poor thing is just having a really, really rough day. So from there, we learn that Cassandra is 31 years old. She has had several different housemates or house shares. And she just doesn't get along with the people around her. Sometimes they find her grating. Like they say, grating, arrogant, rude. And she doesn't understand why. She has no clue, no idea what's happening. So in the tussle and turns that she has when she gets caught up in a animal rights protest, she ends up getting overwhelmed and overstimulated by all the marching and the shouting that's going on, and she passes out in this bar's like doorway. This all takes place in London. I forgot to tell you that. Also, I listened to the audiobook, which was performed by Kristen Afferton. Such a great job. Anyway, so Cassandra's trying to make her way home. She's trying to get out of the office. She goes to ooh, let me not rub my eyeballs. I didn't disinfect anything down here. I don't want to get sick. She tries to go to one of her favorite cafes and get a banana muffin. They're out of it. She has a bit of a meltdown because she loves banana muffins. You'll learn why they're so significant for her later in the story. So that doesn't pan out. She tries to go to the museum to calm herself down. That's her safe space. But she ends up not going in there because she sees someone at the statue who she calls, I don't think she calls them her stalker, but she does not want to interact with this person, so she does not. Anywho, she ends up kind of passing out in front of this bar and in this doorway, in the like doorway of the bar. And she wakes herself up. She been there for how many hours? I don't know. And she goes home. And then her roommates, there is Sal and Derek. And Sal and Derek are a couple, and she lives in that flat. Sal's father is the one that they're renting it from. Anywho, they're not happy with her either. They say she doesn't ever clean up, or she leaves her oatmeal in the sink. She's just really, really having a very rough time of it all. So, come to find out, she, gets in the bed, wakes up, and it's like Groundhog's Day. Everything starts over. When she wakes up, her boyfriend who had broken up with her is in the bed with her now. It takes her a little while to kind of figure things out, but she thinks that she can time travel. And come to find out she can. So throughout the whole book, we never discover exactly how she can time travel. She can only time travel a few moments back, like a few months. She can't go back super, super far back or anything like that. So once she realizes that she can time travel, she decides to try and save her job and keep her boyfriend. And she spends most of the book trying to make those things happen. So now that we've got that under wraps, let's jump into some of these questions. What do you think your first impression of Cassandra would be if you met her towards the beginning of the book? Do you think you would tend towards understanding or frustration? So in this book, it is later revealed, I think it's probably the last chapter, that Cassandra is autistic. And so a lot of these personality traits that people are finding grating and rude and arrogant are all signs of her autism. This lady does not know she's autistic at all. That's a very common thing that happens to a lot of people. The author, Holly Smale, discovered that she was diagnosed that she was autistic when she was 39 years old. So that is a large part of the reason why Cassandra is having so much problems interacting with people, is because she is walking around as an undiagnosed autistic person. And we're going to pause just for a second here, because I know that not everybody understands what autism is and how it manifests itself. I know that a lot of people might know the phrase, someone is on the spectrum. And sometimes we think of a spectrum as point A to point B. But in the case of autism, you need to think of it more as a pie chart where there are different characteristics of autism, and people who are autistic have varying degrees of those. So let's say the characteristics, and I'm just scratching the surface, but let's just say the characteristic of somebody with autism would be sensory issues, communication issues, What else? Social anxiety or not picking up on social cues. ARFID or having issues around eating, special interests. What else? I think I might have said communication. There are several. I'm just, scratching the surface. So, what is it? What was I going to say? Hierarchy issues or not understanding hierarchies. Transitions as well, or being able to transition from doing one thing to doing another. So, two people can have autism and express it in a myriad of different ways. So again, it is not from a point A to point B kind of a spectrum. It's a pie chart with different characteristics that an autistic person will have varying degrees of, some a little bit more, some a little bit less. Some of the newer terms would be high support needs and low support needs. And just because someone is low support needs does not mean that they still aren't needing help or accommodations. And just because someone is high support needs doesn't mean that they have an intellectual disability as well, or that they are not capable members of society. Okay, so now that we have that under control, if I met Cassandra, I think I would lean toward understanding because I recognize the signs of autism, even when people don't know they're autistic. I don't go out and diagnose anybody or anything like that, but I was undiagnosed autistic until I was 48. So I went 48 years not realizing that I was autistic. So I understand how people can come off as abrasive, abrupt, and arrogant. Sometimes one of the characteristics, I'm about to say something else. One of the characteristics of autism is having a flat affectation in your voice. There is no pitch sometimes. It's very monotone and it doesn't go up or down or anything like that. Neurotypicals or allistic, I should say allistic. Allistic are people who do not have autism. They're not necessarily neurotypical. They could just have ADHD. They could not have anything. But anyway, allistic people are people without autism. So sometimes allistic people will read tone in a autistic person's words when there isn't any, or they'll read subtext. That's what I should say. They'll read subtext into an autistic person's words when there isn't any. So for instance, if I say, I don't watch TV, that's all I said, that's all I meant. But an allistic person would read, I don't watch TV, therefore I'm smarter and better than you. I never said that. I don't think that, but that's the subtext that they will infer. And they cannot believe, or it's hard for them to believe that when an autistic person says something, that's exactly what they mean. There is no subtext because our brains don't process subtext. And sometimes it doesn't matter how much you tell somebody that my brain does not process subtext. I'm not speaking in subtext. They still won't believe you because they speak in subtext, so they assume that you do too. And that's just not how it works for us. Okay. In her professional sphere, Cassandra is described by a client as relentlessly grating and unlikable. Do you think her behavior would be perceived differently if she were a man? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know her behavior would be perceived differently if she was a man. So much so that there are a lot of women who walk around undiagnosed as autistic because women have been socialized differently than men have, or people born as women have been socialized than people assigned female or than assigned male at birth have. So those same traits that would be laudable in a man or excusable in a man don't get the same grace when they present themselves in a woman. And don't be a Black woman or a woman of color, because it's going to be doubly hard for people to accept you as who you are when you have those extra qualities about yourself. Okay. Greek mythology is woven throughout the book as one of Cassandra's great passions. Outside of her mother being a world-renowned classics professor at Cambridge, what do you think it is about these tales that draws her to them? So, throughout the book, we hear so many different Greek mythologies. She talks about Kronos eating his children. She talks about Hera killing Ariadne, and Hercules, all kind of different people. She talks about so many different Greek mythology. I really love Greek mythology. I'm trying to remember all the stories that she mentions. Oh, she mentions Penelope. Her middle name is Penelope. She mentions Penelope. She mentions Odysseus as well. All kind of people. In fact, in England, the book is called Cassandra Complex, after the Odysseus complex. That's an actual psychological complex. Anywho, I think that she is drawn to these stories because, number one, it is a familiar place for her. Cassandra's parents died when she was 21. Yeah, 21 years old. They died in a car crash. They were late to her graduation, and they were on their way there, and they got into a car wreck. And so I think that she references those Greek mythologies is because her mother was a professor of what did we say? A classics professor at Cambridge. And so I just think she grew up with that. She's named after two different people in Greek mythology. Later on, we find out that mysterious visitor who is sending her letters, sent it like pomegranates in red envelopes, is her sister Artemis. Artemis was the goddess of the hunt, the chaste goddess of the hunt, or the virginal goddess of the hunt. She has a twin brother named, I don't think it's Apollo. I can't remember who her twin brother is, but she's the virginal goddess of the hunt. So anyway, sometimes she goes by Diana. Her name is Artemis Helen, though. Helen of Troy, who started the Trojan War because she is supposedly so beautiful that all these men were fighting over her. Anywho, I think that it is a familiarity. It reminds her of her mother. There are life lessons in those mythologies. A lot of times people will view Greek mythology as like fairy tales, but it's a whole religion. It's a whole religion that people practice to this day. If you are at the library and you are looking for Greek mythology, you'll find it right next to the religion, right in that area, because sometimes you'll find it in folktales too. But the way the Dewey Decimal System is set up, you find it in religious mythology. And I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but Christian religion has a mythology about it. So does Islam, so does Judaism, so does Buddhism. All religions have that. That's how they tell the stories. That's how they teach their structure and their parable. So anywho, I think she is drawn to that because she knows it. I think that it is familiar to her, and she can pull life lessons out of Greek mythology, very much in the same way that people pull life lessons that help them navigate their lives out of the other religions as well. Let's see. Cassandra tells Will, oh wait, let me double check. Let me make sure if we have any questions or anything like that. Let me check the comments. Also, while I'm remembering, please like my page. If you are watching this on the Lovely from the Library Facebook page, please give it a like. That helps the algorithm push this out to more people. Also, remember to share the live stream if you like what I'm doing here and you enjoy these book club discussions. Please share this so that everybody can have fun and hang out with me. All right. And then also, one last thing. Sign up for my newsletter. Copy that. That'll take you right to the newsletter. It will help you get the discussion questions early. Ooh, there we go. It'll help you get the discussion questions earlier. You'll have all the books that we are reading for this year. You can get caught up. And you'll also get author interviews and news articles that I send out to the newsletter. Okay. All right, let's go to the next. Oh, wait, next question. It is 4:41. Let me see. want to try to wrap it up at 5. Let's see. Cassandra tells Will, that's her boyfriend, that her emotional synesthesia is more complicated than simply red is anger, blue is sadness, yellow is happy. Can you imagine what it would be like to see emotions as colors? How might that impact the way you interact with others? So synesthesia is seeing, sometimes people see emotions as color, sometimes people see sounds as color. Pharrell has synesthesia. He sees sounds as colors. I think that might really help him make really good music. If you guys don't know who Pharrell is, he is the guy who well, he did a whole bunch of, I was thinking Rump Shaker, but he was in Nerds, that band called Nerds. He composes a lot of the music for Despicable Me. He did that one song, Hug Me, Bring It In. I should be singing so loud. But anyway, he did that one. Pretty much all the Despicable Me's, Pharrell is composing some sort of music with that movie. Anywho, he has synesthesia. Who else has it? Bjork, that Icelandic singer. She was in the band of Sugar Cubes before she went out on her own. She has synesthesia too. And so sometimes synesthesia does lead people down a very creative pathway. In this case, she is pulling up memories with these colors. She describes a memory of, it's a light heather green. And she describes to her boyfriend, Will, she's like, it is more than just red is anger and yellow is sick. She describes the morning of, she was 3 years old and she was so proud of herself for being able to unlock this door by herself and go out in the garden. And she remembers that it was kind of cold in the morning and there was dew on the ground and her bare feet were touching the ground. And then she heard her mom, who was looking at her from a window up above, and her mom said, "Oh, baby, how clever are you? When did you learn to unlock the door?" And so green means all of that to her. That specific shade of green means all of that to her. In fact, she collects paint, those little paint samples that you get from the paint store or Lowe's or wherever you get your hardware needs met. She collects those. Anywho, so it is a way that she uses to connect with the world around her. Let's see. We find out that when Cassandra first discovers that she can go back in time, upon discovering her powers, Cassandra's first instinct is to save her parents, and the second to recover her career and relationship. What does she end up gaining despite not achieving any of those goals? So, she tries to go back and save her parents. And of course, that doesn't work out because there are some events that you just cannot change with time travel. We learn later in the book, after she keeps going back and she keeps trying to change things so that she doesn't end up breaking up with her boyfriend. And every time she does that, the small change has a big impact. So she constantly is trying to save her relationship with Will, but he constantly keeps breaking up with her. At the end, like for instance, they go out on a date. She's a vegetarian, so they go out to this pop-up restaurant, and it is I can't remember the name of it, but it's got a punny name to it. And every time she goes, every time she tweaks something, it gets a little bit better. Sometimes she has to keep tweaking it and keep tweaking it and keep tweaking it. And finally, at the end of the book, she realizes that there are some things that she is just going to have to roll with and let go. Hang on, let's see. She keeps trying to save this relationship with her boyfriend, Will, when really the relationship that she is supposed to be trying to recover and fix is the one with her sister. We find out the person that is sending her these mysterious perfumed letters. She says that it's perfume. It smells like the rotting or the place of the dead. Not that it's stinky perfume, but it's a pomegranate perfume. And if y'all know anything about Greek mythology, that relates back to Persephone, who is Demeter's daughter, who got tricked into the underworld by Hades. And so the underworld is where who lives? Dead people. And so she associates that smell of pomegranate with death because Hades tricked Persephone into eating a pomegranate, and so she had to stay down in the underworld because he fell in love with her, and he basically was kidnapping her. He didn't want her to leave, so that's how he did it. And so that's why she associates the pomegranate smell with death. Anywho, where is it? So in the end, she ends up relating to different people. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. Her roommates. She's having trouble with her roommates. The Sal is the girlfriend of Derek. She's more than that. But anywho, she's Derek's girlfriend. And because Cassandra has a hard time picking up social cues, she can't tell if Derek is flirting with her or not. And so he has to really he answers the door naked one time, or she comes home and he's naked. He's not putting clothes on or anything like that. And she tries to tell Sal what Derek is doing, but then Derek gaslights her and says, "No, I was just trying to make you feel comfortable in your home. I can tell you have a crush on me because you're always blushing. You can't even look me in the eye and blah, blah, blah." The deal is this: a lot of autistic people have a hard time maintaining eye contact. Sometimes autistic people can take things very literal, and when we hear you need to maintain eye contact, it is a constant eye contact that can make people uncomfortable. But also for her, maintaining eye contact makes her uncomfortable. Anyway, I think that Holly Smale put that particular story in the book because there is a high percentage of autistic women who get sexually assaulted because predators know that autistic women are not always picking up on different social cues, and they use that to gaslight autistic folks. And so several times she tries to navigate this situation with her roommate, Derek, who is not a nice man. He does have a girlfriend, but he's constantly trying to cheat on her or flirt with other people. And so she doesn't know how to navigate that to tell the roommate, "Hey, your boyfriend's being a creep." And so Derek gaslights her. And she ends up doubting herself because, again, she is undiagnosed autistic. She doesn't know that she's autistic. And so she doesn't realize that she's having social connection issues because before her mother had a chance to tell her that her mother got diagnosed as autistic and she was going to tell Cassandra, "Hey, you're autistic too." Her mother and father died in that car wreck. So Cassandra went this whole time not knowing that she was autistic. And that is one of the things that happens sometimes with autistic women who are undiagnosed. There are people who can tell that autistic people are different. Actually, all autistic people can tell that we are different. They generally know in about a minute or two from talking with us. Autistic people tend to do something that's called masking. Whether we have been diagnosed or not, we know that there's something different about us, and we know that that difference sometimes can be dangerous for us. Dangerous as far as people not liking us, not treating us well, being abusive to us. And I'm not necessarily limiting it to physical or sexual abuse, but psychological abuse as well. That happens too. What else? So I think she did a good job of expressing that in this book. So the first few times Cassandra tries to confront Derek, because she is doubting herself and doesn't understand social cues and situations, her female roommate doesn't get it either. But then toward the end of the book, she is connecting with the Sal, the female roommate. Child, let me quit sounding like a Ferengi. Her girl roommate, woman roommate, and she is crying because Derek is also gaslighting Sal. Sal talks about how they would go out to eat, and she would accuse Derek of flirting with the waitress or trying to get the waitress's number. And then he would be like, no, I was just writing down one of my favorite wines because they don't have it here, and I thought that they might want to include it. He just lying to her. Derek is a big old sleazeball. So anyway, after multiple times of going back and tweaking things and making those connections with Sal, on this last time, she does make a connection. Sal realizes, hey, Cassandra is right. This dude is being a jerk. So all the times when she would confront Derek about flirting with her and hitting on her, it would result in her being told she needs to go find somewhere else to live. The last time he tried that, because Cassandra made a connection with her roommate, Sal, in her own way, Sal actually not only believes Cassandra, but she backs her up and she throws Derek out of the house. This happens throughout the book. This whole book is Cassandra trying to relate to people and connect to people and being misunderstood. That is part of the reason why she breaks up with, or Will breaks up with her, is because Will thinks that Cassandra does not like him, or is not attracted to him, or does not care about what he does. He's a wilderness photographer. And she has to explain to him that she thinks he's amazing. She tells him that she loves him. They have good chemistry together and whatnot. And she explains to him how her way of showing someone that she is interested in them or connecting to them does not necessarily look like it does when another person does it. And Will is judging Cassandra based off of him and how he would do things. He's an holistic person. Autistic people do not operate in that way. And a lot of times that will happen. I have been told myself, oh, I didn't think you liked me. I didn't think that that we were going to be friends or whatever, because I don't like small talk. And so, and I'm talking about, the weather or what. I don't like talking about that. I want to go jump right into what's your favorite book? What's your favorite memory of your grandma? Tell me about your homeworld, Usul, kind of stuff. And so for some people, jumping over those social niceties is a bit jarring. And they think that if you are not asking them those questions, that you are not interested in getting to know them better. And a lot of times what holistic people are actually doing is they're doing that small talk because they're trying to figure out how they're going to treat you. They're trying to decide, where do you fit in a hierarchy? One of the common characteristics of an autistic person is we don't care about a hierarchy. I don't have to have small talk with somebody to figure out how I'm going to treat them, because I already know how I'm going to treat them. I'm going to treat them kindly like I do everybody else. I'm going to treat them and give them the benefit of the doubt like I do with everybody else until I have a reason not to. So I don't have to do all that small talk to figure out where you fit in the hierarchy, because it doesn't matter to me. If you're 6 years old or if you're 60, I'm going to treat you with decency and respect unless you give me a reason not to. And you have to try really, really, really hard, with me anyway. I can't speak for all these other autistic people, but you have to try really, really hard to really push me into not giving you any kind of respect. That's another thing too. Cassandra has very black and white thinking. That's a common trait of autism as well. A strong sense of justice. It don't always mean we're right. It just means we got a strong sense of justice. And very black and white thinking. There's no gray area, no in between. You either, I was about to quote a line from a song. We either, anyway, I'm not going to say it because there's too many cuss words in it. Anywho, let's see. We discover that at the funeral for Cassandra's parents, her mother and father, her sister gets drunk. Her sister is 19. Her sister is grieving. And she says horrible things about Cassandra. She said it was her fault that their parents died because Cassandra always she don't like it when people are late. And that is part of it, having your routine disrupted. And so Cassandra told her sister that she called their parents, 15 times or something, because they were late for Cassandra's graduation. And Artemis, which is her sister's name, says that Cassandra is the reason why their parents died. She said that Cassandra is unlikable and a horrible person. And so that really hurt Cassandra's feelings. And so she moved out of their home and has been ignoring her sister for 10 years. They are estranged. Let's see. And so what ends up happening is they end up trying to reconcile that. After Will breaks up with Cassandra because she couldn't make it to a photography exhibit, one of the people that Cassandra works with tells her sister that that is where she's going to be going. Cassandra ends up not going there, but Will and Artemis, who Artemis tells Will her name is Diane. Anyway, Diana end up meeting there. And he breaks up with Cassandra because he wants to date Artemis. He doesn't know that they're sisters at all. And so twice, Cassandra ends up changing time, going back in time, so she doesn't have to tell her sister, hey, you're dating my ex-boyfriend, because they finally reconnect after 10 years. They catch up on what Artemis has been doing, and Artemis has been trying to apologize and reach out to Cassandra and check in with Cassandra for 10 years. And she's traveled to Kathmandu, to Thailand, to the Philippines, to Australia, doing these different detoxes. She gets kicked out of about 3 silent retreats because she won't stop talking. And Cassandra, because she can see people's color, she got synesthesia, so she can see their emotions. She sees how Will and her sister are connecting. She sees that they have a really good chance at making a relationship. And so she decides to let them have it. So one last time, after she's made friends at work, she starts to realize that this one lady at work, Sophie, is really kind and nice, and she's young too, but she's looking out for Cassandra. She realizes that Cassandra has such good potential at certain things, but Cassandra don't like making phone calls. I don't like talking on the phone either. Disembodied voices are weird to me. I don't like it. I can do FaceTime. I'm really chatty in person, but I do not like talking on the phone. I will never call nobody. I am not a sociopath. I will not be calling you. I'll text you, but I'm not a sociopath. I won't be calling you unless it's an emergency. Then if I am calling you, it is almost always going to be an emergency, unless you're my mama and daddy. Anywho, where was I? Oh, so Cassandra, by the end of the book, Cassandra, after she has been told, hey, you're autistic, her sister Artemis has been trying to reach her because she's trying to apologize for what she said at the funeral 10 years ago. But more importantly, she is also trying to give Cassandra the paperwork that her mother got when she was diagnosed to let her know, hey, bud, you're autistic. That's why you have a hard time connecting with people. That's why people don't always understand you. The key point is once Cassandra started accepting herself and quit trying to be like everybody else, things started going easy for her. Things started working out. I shouldn't say easy. Things started working out for her, though. She realized that she is capable of not only love, but being loved and worthy of it. She thought she was broken. She thought something was wrong with her because she wasn't doing it like everybody else. This whole time, she has a different way her brain operates. She's dealing with a different neural type, and there's nothing wrong with her, even though she's been gaslit by society and told this her whole life. Anyway, this book was really, really awesome. I fear I did not do it justice with our discussion today. That's why you need to read it. That's why you need to check it out for yourself. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn this book in. Whoop. The green screen's making it disappear. What if I put it here? There we go. I'm going to turn this book in so you can check it out. It's a really great book. If you're not into print books, it is on Hoopla. That's free with your library card. You can check it out there. I highly recommend the audiobook. I actually read this book in December. And so it's been a few weeks since I read it, so I've forgotten a few key points. But I did love it. It was amazing. If you like Greek mythology, you're really going to enjoy this book. Matter of fact, we are finished with the discussion questions. If you like this book, if Greek mythology or retellings of Greek mythology is your jam, you really might like this book right here, This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. It is a retelling of the Medea story, and that is a wonderful book. If you want to read more books about women who have autism and maybe are not quite sure or don't know they have autism, Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, wonderful, wonderful book. If you're, hold on, let me move my head. There we go. If you are wanting to learn more about autism and how it presents itself in women, specifically, Unmasking Autism by Dr. Devon Price is another really good book. And then also, if you're into magical realism, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is good too. You know what else? There's another book. It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. That is an unconventional time travel story. And I really like this about this book. We all know Cassandra can time travel. We don't know how, and neither does she. Her sister Artemis, when Cassandra says, hey, I know how to time travel, her sister believes her. No questions, no nothing, because her sister knows her. Her sister is her safe space. And that's part of why it was so devastating for Cassandra when her sister was being so mean and horrible at the funeral, because she lost her safe space. She knew that when she went out into the world, she had to put on a mask and to pretend to be somebody that she wasn't, because the people would not accept her. But her parents and her sister and that home was her safe space. And when her sister lashed out in her grief, she'd lost it. She'd already lost her parents, and now she lost her sister, and she couldn't stay at home and live with her. So she left. So she ran away. There's that black and white thinking, cutting people off, and, being so Star-Wars. It was 10 years. It was 10 years, and Cassandra's like, nope. Artemis had to chase her down and say sorry and get in her face and steal her boyfriend before Cassandra would accept the apology. And Cassandra, toward the end of the book, says, I'm not doing no more time traveling. I done messed stuff up. I'm not doing it anymore. So Cassandra ends up quitting that PR job because she doesn't like it. And she's going to go to Cambridge and study Greek mythology like her mom. And she's having a goodbye party at a pub. And Will comes back early from Mexico to surprise Artemis. And he walks in, and then he puts two and two together, and he realizes he's dating these sisters. And Cassandra does it one last time. She goes back in time one last time because she wants her sister to have a relationship. Her sister wants to have children and loves dogs, just like Will. And since Cassandra has synesthesia, she can see that they're a good match. And so at the end of the book, she does one last time travel. And her sister's like, no, please don't do this, because Cassandra is just now getting friends at 31. She has a roommate who loves her and cares for her. And she's made a friend at work. And even her boss shows up to the going away party. And her sister's like, no, you can't give all this up. But now Cassandra has the confidence of, there's even a boy at the job who is kind of flirting with her because he's also autistic. Cassandra talks about loop earplugs. I was looking for my loop earplugs, but I left them at home. But child, I got my handy dandy ear defenders right here, my noise canceling headphones. Y'all have no idea how loud it is. I can hear electricity. I can hear, like right now, I can hear the electricity is buzzing. Yep, I can hear it. And for people who don't have autism, that's one of the things that y'all don't know how loud the world is. Like in a crowd, like let's say I'm out to have dinner, right? And I'm sitting at a table with my 2 or 3 friends or whatever. I can hear every conversation in that restaurant. I am not even lying. People often tease me and tell me I have supersonic hearing. It's just like, no, I don't have the ability to focus only on the conversation in front of me and drown out everything. I just hear everything. I hear everything. I have to focus. I can do it if I focus really hard, but that makes me tired. That's called masking. And that's masking when you do it for too long. It can cause health problems because it takes a lot of energy and it's quite stressful. So I try not to do it, which is why sometimes people can find autistic people, they say uncanny valley, because I'll have a flat affectation, and without this mask, I have been told I have resting bee face. I'm not gonna say it on the live stream. I just don't emote. I don't emote. And very similar to Cassandra, my safe space is my family. All of my grandparents knew that they said that I had what is it? Because they didn't know the word autism, but it runs in my family. So they knew I was like other people in my family, and they just let me be. They say, hush, she just quiet. Leave Lovely alone. She said, I would always hang out with the old people. I would greet them, and they would make everybody else leave me alone. Because thank God I'm from the South, where we love our eccentrics. They say eccentrics. Half them people just are neurodivergent in some sort of way. Anywho, I said I was going to be quiet. It's 5 o'clock. What was I trying to say? I think that's roughly it. Oh, no, it's not it. I have some more stuff to tell y'all. We got to talk about what we'll be reading next month. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second, friends. We'll get rid of this too, and then we'll talk about it. If you liked this book, please join me next month for Lone Women by Victor Laval, February the 20th at 4 p.m. Also, please remember to sign up for my newsletter. That is where you're going to be getting all the author interviews, all the articles, any cool things that pop up. You will find that in the newsletter. So please sign up for that. Thank you so much for joining me, live stream viewers and replay viewers. Please check out this book, Lone Woman by Victor Laval. That's our book we'll be reading for February the 20th, right here at 4 p.m. I'm going to turn this book in so you can check it out. I'll see you later. Bye.